It's always a tough task to come and wake you all up in the morning and try to sound somewhat philosophical. Vishal's already told you a lot of your day is going to be very specific with terms of, very specific talks and discussions about devices and digital and iPads and iPods. And I thought I would, take a slightly 35,000-foot view of this, put some thoughts out here, see what you guys think. Just in terms of an introduction, apart from running a digital firm, I also run an investing company called Seed Fund. We have, and before that, I used to run another investment firm called Passion Fund. And so I've invested in the 24, 25 companies, actually it's more than that. Many of them in digital. So that's just in case you that's an email, there's an email address there. That's it. So a lot of the beliefs out here are things that maybe that one has seen. I've probably seen maybe 8,000 business plans in the last 10 years that I've been investing. I've probably dealt with 200 marketers in 6 countries in the last half dozen years. So here's just some thoughts and some fire starters. Vishal's given me about 30 minutes. So what I thought I'd do is probably speak for about 15-20 minutes with some thoughts. And I would really, really appreciate it if you can have a talk at the end of it, because I'm really going to ask some provocative questions and make some provocative statements. So I know it's probably not appropriate in a keynote to have a discussion about what the hell I mean. This is the 21st century. We can define a keynote how we want it to. This is a keynote in the age of convergence. So let's have, if it's with Vishal's permission, if it's all right, we could have a small 5-10 minute discussion at the end of this. Great. So just some thoughts in terms of our life and our business and what we do in both investing and in marketing is always to keep looking out to see what comes next. So the question always is, how do you figure out what comes next? And one of the reasonable ways I found we talk here, I just wanted to put some thoughts here saying, there's just 17 random thoughts on how digital and how your life will change because of convergence. And one way I think your life will not change because of convergence. So the first thought really is that I think Wordsworth said, "Child is the father of man," and I have a 12-year-old boy. And it's amazing what I've learned from him just by watching him. He truly lives in what I call a 3-screen world. He's got his mobile phone, he's got his laptop, and he's, one's got a 2-inch screen and one's got a 12-inch screen, and there's a 55-inch screen TV, all in the same room. He's consuming all of them at the same time. Even more amazing, on his mobile phone, I pay the bill, so I know 96% of the bill is data and 4% is voice. Compared to just the earlier generation where we used to complain that kids talk all the time. These kids aren't talking all the time, they're actually on data all the time. In his school, the way, I only know what he's up to because every 3 months he's up to some new prank, and I'm called when he's close to being rusticated from school, and I have to make some explanation to the principal. So, the way apparently in the class it's pretty normal for kids to tease each other is they take their phones, and this was apparently a stunt in class. So he asked some bully in class, what's the capital of Nicaragua? The guy says, I don't know. He's recording all this in video. What's the square root of 1,485? I said, I don't know. He asked him some really obscure questions. That guy keeps saying, I don't know. He comes home, edits out his voice, changes the voice to, what is 2 plus 2? I said, I don't know. What's the capital of India? So I don't know. Then puts that video together, puts it back on YouTube, creates a Google group, sends it to everybody in his class, goes back next morning to the bully and says, 89 people saw the video, That apparently is how ragging is done in 12th class, for 12-year-olds today, right? So something out there is a huge lesson to me. When I was 12-year-old, certainly I was not the most well-behaved boy in class, but and I did have technical leanings, but we didn't have the ability to do this. So somewhere out there is some learning that video tools will become easier to use. Data will really be core. We probably grew up in a text-based society, and I think the generation right after that, people who are 20s probably grew up in a video-based society and in a television-based society, and here I think a lot more is really going to be in a digital video-based society where it doesn't matter who's creating the video, and the tools for creating and editing the video will really become ubiquitous. Where 12-year-olds en masse in a class with no training can edit video. I can't. I'm in an agency and I'm 45. I can't do that. 44. Then there's really some change that's happening out there. So I think one of the key places to always see where the forefront of change is to look at the 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds, see what they're doing, because that is really an harbinger of the next big mass that's growing up and coming up there. That just kind of brought me to one particular theory which said that data will be voice. And the interesting thing is, at least in our country, the price of voice calls has been going down hugely and phenomenally. It's now down to half a paise. And it'll go down further. In fact, we've seen the cost of data in some ways is unnaturally high. And I was talking with a friend of mine from a telco saying that today you can deliver 60 seconds of phone time. How much do you pay for 1 minute right now? 25 paisa, 30 paisa, 50 paisa? How much are you paying? 1 rupee, not more than that. So if you're paying for 60 seconds of data, and that's voice that you're hearing is 8 kilobits per second, you're paying for 480 kilobits of data, and you're paying 50 paisa for 480 kilobits of data. In effect, you're paying 1 paise for 10 kilobits of data. Right? Why is that important? When you do an SMS is only 140 bits of data, or 168 bits of data, but it's still being charged 1 rupee for. So there's a huge asymmetry in how SMSs are being charged for. It's using far less of the capacity compared to voice, but voice has been extraordinarily discounted. I do expect the cost of SMSs to plummet. Up to a year ago, 2 years ago, SMSs were about 15-20 paise. I do expect them to come down. They're already at 1.5 to 1.75 paise, and I expect them to fall even further. It's a pretty huge fall. 20 times fall in a year of a particular commodity is a very big deal. And once it comes down even further, it will become a larger medium. And you'll see that today, for example, when we do regular advertising and we do banner advertising, the unit that we buy is called cost per thousand. And a reasonable cost per thousand in some cases is 5 rupees to 10 rupees or even 20 rupees. So in effect, you're paying 2 paise. You're paying 20 rupees for 1,000 impressions. That's 2,000 paise for an impression. For 1,000 impressions, that's 2 paise per impression. So when SMSs come down very below that 2 paise, 1 paise mark, you will see SMS advertising really take off. Right now, it's strange that even though we have 500 million phones and only 71 million net users, the advertising to 71 million net users is 900 crores, and the advertising to 500 million phone users is only 45 crores. Right? So you will really see that change happen. For that, the price has to fall. So you will see data and voice prices falling further. We're going to consume content on 3 screens. There's going to be the first in-pocket screen, which is a mobile phone. There's going to be at-hand screen, which is going to be the iPad or the laptop. I'm using them interchangeably. And there's going to be the fixed screen, which is a large screen at home. And the resolutions of each of these will increase. What will really happen is you're not going to have 3 different devices to capture these data. You're going to have one device that captures data, and you'll have software in the system that can automatically resize it to the 3 screens. This again brings up pretty interesting questions, because we're so used to the fact that the World Cup football is happening in South Africa. You're going to use large cameras to capture that in high definition. But that high definition capture will really come to your mobile phone. When that happens, given that today already, every second on YouTube, 7 seconds or 8 seconds of content are added. So nobody humanly can see the content added on YouTube. It's really going to be an interesting question: how much the broadcast mentality will survive in an era where everybody is a broadcaster. You put a video on YouTube, you're a broadcaster. And today on YouTube, especially post IPL, there are 18 million views every month, which means more people watch YouTube than any other English television news channels in India on a regular basis. Only 1 or 2 Hindi GECs occasionally are bigger than YouTube in India. It's a large change. It's a tremendous change in terms of how media is used out here.